I am very excited to be back here today. I just want to feel grounded. Ooh, we had a whirlwind time. The last time I was here was at Voices of Faith for Peace. This place was packed out. We had so much going on. It was really wonderful. And then I had the honor of taking those that were in our seminary program to their retreat with Reverend Evelyn and myself. And you see a few of them here wearing their in-training prayer shawls that they have on, the purples. I mean, you see the purple, you know that they're asked to do something now and to stand in that place of reverence and working on this ideals that we said in here, right? Thine own mind, God, to actually become servants of spirituality and make that their primary goal in life. It's not an easy task, and we did not do an easy retreat on them, did we? Like shaking her head, no. That was not like, oh, let's relax. That's spa retreat, guys. But anyway, so hello, we're back, and unfortunately last weekend we had to go down to North Carolina. That had to my father's funeral. My father passed away during this time. I just want to say thank you again to all those. He came here for Christmas, and it was really wonderful to have him here and to be dancing up a storm with JoAnn for New Year's Eve. That was really sweet, and he really enjoyed it and enjoyed all of you, and we were just really excited about it. And he kept saying, "How do they afford all of this?" You know, that's a dad for you, right? You know, how am I going to get them to do it? But anyway, so you know, a heartbreak and a joy as well, which is what happens in life and how we, you know, keep going on with different things. So I just want to thank everybody for all their prayers and support. That was important for me to say that, to come back here and try to be present with all of you here. So, hello. Hello. So we're back with 12 steps, with the 12-step program of recovery. And I'm really excited that we get to do this twice a year, because even for the fact of the 12-step program, I worked as a clinical director for treatment facilities, so my history goes back 20 years working in the field of addictions, all kinds of addictions, right? So, the work of the 12-step, I truly believe that somebody who has an issue with a particular substance or behavior needs to go to that group. So when we come here and talk about 12-step spirituality, we want to take it a little further, and what we do in our 12-step plus group each month is dive a little deeper into some spiritual aspect. Let's look into the spirituality, because even Bill Wilson, who, by the way, in his Time magazine interview said that he was an agnostic, right? So he didn't proclaim to any faith tradition, but yet he wanted to go even deeper. And he said to people, go find some spiritual, like, have your spiritual community as well as your AA, NA, whatever group, as well as that, right? Because I've heard story after story of people who tried joining religious groups who had no alcohol or substances in them, and they still went out and used after a long period of time, because you forget. You forget that something is not good for you, right? Even if you're allergic to strawberries and you're not around them, and then you go to years later, you're around strawberries, oh, I forget how that felt, you know, the reaction to that. And nothing's gonna bother me, I pick up a strawberry. Your throat's closing up, it's taking you to it happens. So it's important. Those things are important. We're here today to try to delve a little deeper. And the principles, as you came up the stairs either way, thank you, Lori, for that, you'll see the principles of the 12 steps as you were coming up and trying to step. I was trying to step over and not knock them all off, and a little dress. But they're there. Each one of them has a deeper spiritual tradition. So today, because we've been doing this for a while, I thought about step 12. And that first part of step 12, which is having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. We carry this message to others who suffer, and then to practice these principles in all our affairs. So this idea of people say, okay, well, that means Community, that means being there, means showing up. We talk about that a lot in gathering, that's important, right? To show up for each other. To me, I believe that's one of the highest spiritual things you can do. Right? Show up. It's a real mom thing. It's a real divine feminine thing to do, right? That the divine just always is there for you. You know, you're fighting it, you don't want to be it, but the mom is like, okay, when you're ready, I'll make some soup. You know, give it to you when you're ready. That's the thing. Just keep showing up. Because when you needed it, somebody was there when you came in. So this idea that the divine is always there and loves it when we all show up. So that's the part of that, you know, that 12 step, and then you have to do the things the steps say, you know, practice amends and forgiveness and self-awareness and all those things. But that haven't had a spiritual awakening confuses everybody, doesn't it? What is this spiritual awakening? And I think the first part of it holds the key, this idea where it says spiritual awakening. It doesn't say intellectual awakening. Big difference. We don't think spiritual stuff. We don't plan spiritual things. We experience them. And one of the big things about Gathering of Light is that we follow, because when we're starting this out as a student of A Course in Miracles, for me, this line in A Course in Miracles meant so much and continues to mean so much to me, is that it says a universal theology is impossible, but a universal experience is not only possible, but necessary. So this idea of everybody thinking a different way to the divine, see them up there, right? They're different, very different. We don't try to meld them and say, oh, they're all the same. No, but we know that the experience we have when we open ourselves up to allow it to just be is the same. Why? We see it in each other's eyes and we can go, yeah. I want that back again. I want to live in that. So a spiritual awakening, it says, having had the spiritual awakening, it doesn't say having that spiritual enlightenment, having that, you know, you are now the Buddha. In fact, we have our Buddha Sangha later on, and we talk about being bodhisattvas, which is, you know, Buddhas in training. So we're not that one that is enlightened. We are awakening. And it's exactly what it says. Awakening. Wakening up. You know, I had all this stuff prepared. It's me and my over-preparedness, you know, as I'm getting into this. I had all this stuff prepared about the variety of religious experiences by William James. And this, which is an amazing book. I highly recommend it. And Bill Wilson loved this book. But very technical, very thick, and very heavy. I'll give you a little taste of it here. So he says there's 3 criteria of religious experience according to James. James spoke that spiritual ideas should be judged on 3 criteria. 1, immediate luminousness, philosophical reasonableness, and moral helpfulness. 4 types of religious experiences are mystical, numinous, conversion, and visions. Again, I feel, because I always like to do the feminine aspect, that sounds way too heady. And what does all that mean? When you have that experience of when you truly let go and let the divine, and you can actually feel yourself being lifted up. I used to practice my spiritual awakenings go to the edge of my bed, and I would put my hands up and I go, oh, I know you got me, and I fall back down. And the bed would bounce me up like this, and I go, that's what I need to feel. Help me to feel that, to understand that feeling, that presence is with me, is here with me. And I am a part of it, and it is a part of me. Because that's what we're awakening to, that there's no distinction. This that the divine is the beloved. It needs to be in our hearts. It is in our hearts. But it needs to be in our hearts for our own expression, our own livedness in this. And when we have that, we have these spontaneous moments of when we just are connected so much. Sometimes my windshield in my car used to be the place where I put all the dramas. Just all the dramas. Because I was like working on my ego. I go, okay, ego, you got a lot of stories to tell me. Put them up there. I know, driving all around Long Island, and this is what I'm doing in my car. Might sound a little scary, but hey, we're all safe today. So I put the dramas up on the windshield, right? This is the story with this thing, this is the concern over that one, this is the whole thing, and they're playing out. And I let them play out like a little stage. Let it all play out. And then the windshield will get very clear. And I'd just be driving on the road and I'd say, wow, look at that. Everything can take care of itself, will take care of itself. I didn't change it, try to fix it, I just said, this is. And as we keep doing the work, because it says having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, doing the spiritual work, because as in our words of wisdom, it says that everything is contingent upon what we do. Every spiritual tradition, though, says that. They all say, come back. They all say your prayers. They all say, meditate. They all say, do something. Because we have the tendency to just go off and want to do our own thing. That somehow the divine needs my input in order to get it right. It doesn't. That's the spiritual awakening. Right? So it doesn't need that. But these awakenings, these moments, when you can really hear the birds singing in the morning and allow for them to come into your heart. Spiritual awakening. Ah, yeah, I get that. When I don't miss the beauty of the sun, it's hard. You want to drive home from work and the sun is setting and it's there and all the cars like, it's just beautiful. Maybe if it's too much, I'll pull over just for a minute because it goes away so fast, right? It's brilliant for a moment and then it goes. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. Don't miss how something tastes when it tastes really good. And you don't need the next taste. Stay with the one you have. Stay in the moment. Be in the preciousness of everything. These are the spiritual awakenings. These are the things that they're all talking about in all their heady talks. And when we have them, we know we want more. We want to be more in that. Why? Because we are hardwired for the divine. We're hardwired for it. Brain science tells us this. There's plenty of books I can refer you to. When we went to the Parliament of World Religions, I sat in many conferences with these scientists that are working on it. Because now that they can measure the brain and see it. They found out that someone can do a Buddhist meditation and get connected totally to the divine. Brain, watching all the indicators on the scans. And someone else does nothing for them. But they'll hear their song, and it will take them, their brain, to that level, and this person will do nothing for them. So this is how unique we are. This is why we need to reach in and to try new things. This is why we keep saying spiritual tools for sacred living. We want to live sacred living is having spiritual awakenings. Spiritual tools come from all the world's religions. It might not fit where you came from. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. Or it might mean that you need to keep growing with it. Because as you grow, your energy grows, your vibrations, your ability to open up, to see more, to experience more. It's all right here. We can all have it. And the best thing to do with it, as you do have it, is to give it away to somebody else. Which means to show up for them by being able to sit next to them and go, you can do this too. Do you know why? It's inside of you. This divinity, this insight, this awareness, it's the deepest, richest, purest part of who you are. And I'm just going to keep sitting here and seeing it in all of you from the deepest, richest place of my heart. So, you want to wake up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to send Reverend Evelyn after you.
Yeah.
We want to wake up. We have the ability to wake up. Do the work. You're worth it. And don't get, you have to brush your teeth every day. You have to do your spiritual work every day. If you want teeth, you brush them, right? If you want to have that connection, you do it. But it needs to come from joy. It needs to come from that place that you know that I'm ready to be loved. And even whether I don't feel I'm worthy to be loved, I have a spiritual community that tells me I am. And will always remind me. And will bring us out of that ordinary into the extraordinary. And hopefully today you'll have heard something, you'll feel something, you'll know this universal experience that says you are the beloved child of the divine.